Good morning. Welcome to the first day of London Roller Derby's Anarchy 7. Coming up, we have Rainy City versus Nothing to Lose. I am King Crazy.
And I am the lovely Beatrix, and we're here to talk you through all of the action of this second game. Now, if you are just joining us, you missed London versus Stockholm, and the score was definitely a big one, right?
Yeah, it was. I was working on that game. It's London ended up winning 214 to 43, and it was. They were just consistently getting lead, and obviously that makes a massive difference.
That's how you win the games.
It helps. It helps.
Consistently getting lead. So we've seen some amazing roller derby already. As we said, this is Anarchy 7. If you're joining us on the stream, we want to see what you're doing today. You can use the hashtag Anarchy 7 to join in the fun. But right now we're going to go through the rosters. So if you want to lead with Toulouse.
Okay, starting with Toulouse, who will be in the black with blue accents. We have 06 Champagne, 111 Rolala, 153 Milling, 19 Sweeney, 1903 La Chute, 191 Missy Hammer, 202 Billy Lakeet, 2208 Tank, 222 Agatha Crushding, 28 Baboon, 49 Trash Panda, 64 Jack and Decker, 713 Alice Turek, 72 Nina Backdraft, and 747 Lylove.
Fantastic. And for Rainy City Roller Derby, playing in the white, it's 02 Nepo Baby. Number 11, it's a no from me. 111 Shiv Roy. 256 Big Fish. 29 Penny Block. 316 Uma Thumpin. 414 Rusty Bullet. 56 Cardboard Box. Number 7 Well Up For It. 704 Bunt with a C. 75 Short Little Mole #1. 77 Liz is how we do it. 81 Fairy Quake. 873 Norley and 88 Banshee. We've also got some amazing officials on our game through today.
Our skating officials, we have McFarlane, Razor, Shugs Bunny, Emka, Lucas, Pyrie, Katsusoze and Emily of the State. And our fantastic NSOs, Hissing Hellcat, X-Ray Ted, Swearwolf, Cluster Schmuck, Hannah, Says Who, Emery of the Stats, Dorian Gray, Jack, Block Nez Monster, Cataclysm, and Jessosaurus.
So that's all our rosters nice and read out for you. You know who's going to be on track and who's going to be officiating them. But we'd like to say thank you so much to Gendered Intelligence, who is a registered charity that works to increase understanding of gender diversity and to improve trans people's quality of life. They are a trans-led and trans-involving grassroots organisation which runs training, campaigns and support services for trans and gender non-conforming people. London Roller Derby are really proud to give them a platform at Anarchy. Please do check out their website at genderedintelligence.co.uk, and you can also make a donation on their website or keep an eye out for a QR code on our stream adverts and in between games, and you can donate that way. So right now on track we're just seeing Rainy City warming up, and you might have noticed that there was a few name changes out there today for their roster.
That's going to confuse me.
Well, you'll be all right because you're a professional. So Roller Derby is supposed to be fun, and I feel like Rainy City are just having a little bit of fun with their names this weekend. Obviously, every team coming back from that long break in COVID and really reassessing what does Roller Derby mean to them. You can still perform at a very high level, but you can still have a lot of fun doing so. And I think this weekend I'm really excited to see so many different teams playing and also seeing what they will bring now that we've had almost a year back together where we've been able to train, think about those tactics, really bed in, bring in those new skaters as well. And certainly for Rainy, we're seeing a change in that all-star roster from 2019.
I think what you're seeing, what something like an event like this is going to be really good to see, is we kind of had that, that 18-month, 2-year gap. So we don't really know where sort of people rank, where teams stand these days. So something like this, I know there was the Euro Cup as well, and there's been a couple of other games. And I've been to where the Swedish National Championships that have seen sort of likes of Stockholm and Crime City who are here this weekend to see where they are. But this will give us a really good idea. I think some teams, I know Toulouse, because one of their training venues is outside, and being in the south of France with the nice weather, they could continue training perhaps a lot more than some of the other teams have here. So it'll be interesting to see sort of where they stand and how they shape up. Because the other thing with Toulouse is they've only fairly recently become a WFTDA affiliated league. Because RollerDerby Toulouse is an OTA league, open to all leagues. So they have their WFTDA aligned team, Nothing to Lose, and their MRDA team, the Quad Guards. And there was a little bit of delay with the getting the WFTDA affiliation, but they have that now.
Yeah.
So they were always very strong, but they didn't always get to play the top teams, your Rainies, your Crime Cities, your Helsinkis, because they weren't sanctioned games.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how they stack up against everybody this weekend.
Yeah, and I think something really interesting that you said at the start there was the fact that we don't know where we're at necessarily in terms of rankings, and so multi-game tournaments like this really give, and they're all sanctioned games, but there is no bronze medal, gold medal game here. So it's almost like it's a way for European roller derby, certainly in this context, to be able to really get a feel of where are we right now, post some scores, kind of rebuild into those rankings, and everybody else kind of get an idea of where we're going and where we're at and where we all sit against each other. So I think it is really interesting. But one of the most exciting things is seeing newer skaters coming through on all rosters. So you're very much used to one or the other, but I think what we're seeing now is that new intake, those new skaters coming in, new skills, new strategies to complement those skills, and that makes it so exciting. It's almost like a rebirth of roller derby in a way, which really, really interests me. Yeah,
I mean, it's certainly interesting when you look at some of the rosters. Obviously, you know Rainey really well, and there's quite a lot of the roster has been retained from pre-COVID. There's a few new faces that have come through. Certain ones that I know, Nepo Baby I know, and Bumped with a C I know have come in from other leagues in the last sort of year or so. So again, it's going to be very interesting to see. And as you said, this is an event. It isn't a tournament. There's no sort of gold, silver, and bronze. It is a load of games just to see pretty much where people stand.
Yep, so we are about to get underway in just a moment's time. We've got a little bit of a delay going on, but that is normal. It is roller derby after all.
It doesn't run to time.
Wouldn't want it to start on time. That would confuse us all. So I can see now that teams are getting themselves set up on the benches. As I said, it is the lovely Beatrix joined by
King Crazy,
and we will be talking you through all of the roller derby action for this game. Now, Rainy City are playing Crime later on today. That's at 5 p.m. UK time. And Toulouse will be playing London at 3 p.m. So they've got a game now, a break, and then another game against London.
And that break at 1 p.m. is Crime City versus Helsinki.
Yeah.
That one I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, always an exciting matchup to see Crime and Helsinki work together. But I do feel for Toulouse a little bit that they'll be playing this game and then on to London, who we saw against Stockholm early today, and certainly in a ferocious mood. So I think I just heard the whistle. It means we're about to start, and certainly we can see skaters out on track, ready to kick off this second game on the first day of Anarchy number 7, or #7. Number 7. Sound like a perfume for a second there. Okay, lining up for Rainy City, we do have 873. That's Norley.
At the start, I'm trying to see from here. Is it Sweeney? It might be Sweeney jamming. The reason I'm saying that, I'm with a little bit of doubt, is because Sweeney didn't used to jam, but things change. It looks like actually it's Missy Hammer. 19191. That's my excuse. I'm sticking to it.
Absolutely. And so first jam underway of this game. Norley pushing through, picks up lead jammer. Missy Hammer knocked to the back, recycled.
Yeah,
all the way.
Missy Hammer has removed the star, but the pivot Champagne is currently sat in the penalty box.
So star stash rather than star pass as Norley comes through on a scoring pass, picking up 4 points for Rainy City.
So there's a strong tripod in white holding back Missy Hammer at the moment.
Yeah, there's a real jam cracking crazy in between turns 1 and 2. All the action happening on the apex, but Rainey really trying to control and contain Toulouse blockers. Norley pushing forward now on the straightaway between turns 2 and 3. Missy Hammer is trying to find that pass, but gets knocked to the outside, recycled back to turn 3.
That was great work there from the short little mole. And again, but Gnarly's being taken back as well.
Yep, all the way to
Nina Backdraft was there, sorry. Star has now been passed. Champagne now does have the star for Nothing to Lose.
Held by Nepo Baby. And it's a no from me in this strong 2-wall. All the action between turns 3 and 4. That straightaway really seeing the grappling that's happening as Norley drops a shoulder. Gets free from the Toulouse pack to pick up 4 further points for Rainy City.
A hard-earned 4 points, you've got to say.
Absolutely. And this jam really running all the way down to the wire.
But on that pass, just a further 4 points. Get through. Strong start from Rainey. 12 points off the first jam.
Well, fantastic. But I think Toulouse really did a little bit slow at the start of the jam, but then really found a way to be able to try and contain their jammer. All the action we saw down the straightaway between turns 3 and 4 was really about Toulouse starting to control the narrative a little bit more. Norley was able to drop the shoulder and find the space, but it did hold her up for a considerable amount of time when you think, well, we've only got 2 minutes. Right now, we're back into it. Fairy Quake with the star for Rainy City.
Up against Trash Panda for Toulouse, but lead jammer once more to Rainy and Fairy Quake. What was nice to see, though, just before the jam started, was everybody doing high fives. Right, Trash Panda has escaped. Fairy Quake plows into the wall.
Yeah, big hit, but nice and legal. Comes in, recycles back, checks in where Toulouse jammer is and calls off the jam. But were Toulouse able to pick up some points there? 2 points for Toulouse and Trash Panda.
And 1 for Fairy Quake, so a steal on that one. That's a message for any jammers watching at home. If you're not lead, don't just coast. Absolutely hammer it around the track, and you might be able to steal a point or 2.
Well, Rainey's score there corrected to 2 points for them as well. So it was an even Stevens jam. And I don't think we're going to see any coasting from the jammers here this weekend, King. Well, up for it with the star for Rainy City. Champagne.
Is it Champagne starting with the star? Interesting.
Well up for it, trying to find the space on the inside line, does so, gets past Babon to pick up lead.
Some absolutely great work on the outside from Shiv Roy, along with It's a No from me.
Fantastic there, well up for it, jumps the apex, only a little hop, usually we see a lot more higher from her, but it is early in the game. Comes in again and really just barreling around this track. Rainey have got Toulouse absolutely shut down. We've seen a star pass from Champagne to the pivot.
Jack and Decker now has the star pushing against the 4, now 3 at the front as Nepo Baby drops off to bridge the pack out.
Well up for it, held right at the entrance to turn 4. Shrugs off each Toulouse blocker to pick up 4 further points. Meanwhile, Toulouse jammer just taking a second, really feeling it from Shiv Roy. And this is a grind for Toulouse jammer right here. Rainy City being able to answer everything that the jammer is throwing at them. Shiv Roy with the knockout forces that recycle back to the straightaway between turns 3 and 4. And well up for it, truly well up for it at the moment. Barreling round, 15 points on the board already. Scores a further 4 for Rainy, taking this to a 19-point jam this early in the game.
So the star pass, in this case for Toulouse, doesn't look like it's working, as Jack and Decker is being held back by that strong wall. Nepo Baby's there, It's a No from me and Shiv Roy. Now, as I said, the first game this morning between Stockholm and Rainey saw a 19-point jam as the highest jam, so I think we've just beaten that.
Yeah, just checking in with those scores, waiting for any final accounting, but that did look like 23 points scored by Rainy City and Nothing to Lose held at 0.
So just while we've got into this team timeout, London RollerDerby's next fundamentals intake is coming up soon. So you can follow London Roller Derby on social media for more information. But May the 7th is the next session from 12 till 2 at Bridge Park Leisure Centre in Stonebridge. The fundamentals train weekly. There's no experience required, but you will need to sort kit, although there will be some bits there that you can borrow.
Fantastic. And why wouldn't you want to get involved in this sport, having seen a cracking game this morning between London and Stockholm, and now watching this rainy v Toulouse game? Makes me almost want to get on my skates myself and jump on down there. And I'm certainly dressed for the part today, I think.
Looking immaculate as always, B.
In my shell suit of dreams. Okay, we are having a team timeout by Toulouse, and I think that's an absolutely stonking idea from them, because they need to just disrupt this rainy power train, powerhouse kind of jamming. 23 points is a big loss for any team to come up against. So a moment to reflect and reevaluate on what's happening and really think about where are the tactics going right, where can they shore up those defences is a great idea. That team timeout is coming to an end. We're seeing jammers now lining up, and it does look like Norley for Rainy City.
Yeah, I believe that is Missy Hammer once more for Toulouse.
So this might be a familiar matchup that we see throughout the game, if this is what jammer rotation looks like. We are, of course, only 3 jams in, 24 minutes and some change of this first half still to go. And the scores, if you've just joined us, Rainy City at 37, Nothing to Lose on 2, as we're seeing this dance between turns 1 and 2. But Norley leads that dance, picks up lead, as Missy Hammer saw daylight from the pack, recycled back by Banshee. Banshee had to let her go.
Yeah, Uma Thumping did pick up the low block there. And there's going to be a power jam as Gnarly has picked up a back block penalty. So this is a chance maybe that Toulouse need to try and work their way into the game. Only got 2 points so far, and they've just almost tripled that. Just Banshee at the front. There we go, 4 points picked up for Toulouse.
Fantastic opportunity for them now to really score some points on the board and take a chunk out of the differential. But Rainy choosing to race it, bringing along the Toulouse blockers.
So the Toulouse blockers were trying to get involved and trying to split them up, but Missy Hammer finds a lovely gap around the outside, picks up 4 more.
Fantastic work as Norley returns to play from that penalty box. Missy Hammer comes in again, finds space easily on the outside line to pick up 4/3 of the points. Norley, though, posting 4 for Rainy, but at the moment this is a great jam for Nothing to Lose.
Yeah, it seems like a timeout well taken. It's interesting to see, because with Toulouse, with the quad guards, the MRDA team, they like a much faster pack so their offence can pick people off. Whereas Nothing to Lose seemed to be a much more compressed and taking it at a slower pace. So I just wondered if that was a league trait or whether it was something that I was interested to see.
Yeah, no, really good insight.
Yeah. I've benched against the quad guards more times than I care to remember. Still never won.
Well, jam comes to an end there. 8 points picked up by Rainy, but Toulouse, the winners in this piece of play with 14 points on the board, taking their score to 16. Rainy City All-Stars at 45. Lining up now, we've got the smiling assassin that is Fairy Quake. Number 81 for Rainy City.
Up against number 49, Trash Panda for Toulouse.
Trash Panda really hitting the front of that pack as quick as possible. Knocked out and recycled by Nepo Baby back to jam line. Fairy Quake still looking for the space, but held in a strong 3-wall. And that is short little mole trying to find the spaces. Helps out Fairy Quake to pick up lead jammer for Rainy City.
Beautiful little hop there from Fairy Quake just to escape the front of the pack and to pick up lead. Although needs to get a move on because Trash Panda is not far behind.
Yeah, Trash Panda now chasing down the action as we move between turns 3 and 4. Fairy Quake calls off the jam, but I think that Nothing to Lose. Trash Panda was able to pick up some last moment points there. Yet 1 in the air for Rainy, 3 for Nothing to Lose.
So again, that's Trash Panda. I think that's twice now that they've not been lead, but won the jam without penalties.
Yeah. Fantastic work. 19 points for Nothing to Lose. 46 to Rainy City All-Stars.
And we have Champagne with the star for Nothing to Lose.
And that's well up for it. Number 7.
You're having to work
City.
really hard to say these names, aren't you?
Saying these names rather than their actual names. Yes, but
Yes.
don't worry, I'm a professional and I will absolutely do that for them.
I cannot swear that I'll be able to do the same.
Well up for it, pushing forward, but shut down by the Toulouse blockers. Toulouse picking up lead jam for the first time in this game so far, and certainly not wasting any time as Champagne comes in on this scoring pass, held by a 3-wall between turns 1 and 2. Now a 2-wall. It's a no from me. Last line of defence. Star pass from Rainey to Nepo Baby. As Champagne, just held, takes a moment to step back, waits for reinforcements from Nothing to Lose, goes up once again from It's a No from Me. It's now 1-1 as we go into turn 4. It's a No from Me, has to let her go. 4 further points on the board for Toulouse.
Nepo Baby delivered a big hit as they came into the back and grabbed shirt for the shirt whip. Didn't quite make the apex shot, but did get through that time to pick up the 4 points. So it's 4 points all at the moment in this jam.
Uma thumping now with the knockout, trying to force the recycle, and in fact causes a track cut penalty on the Toulouse jammer. So this is now power jam for Rainy City. We're just looking in at the clock. We might start with a power jam micro start for Rainy City. Jam just called due to injury. So we're just going to take a second here. Now, I've got to tell you something. Toulouse took that time out, and I think that was such a superb idea, because what we've seen from them since they come back is just phenomenal work. It's like they had to get all their nerves out in those first 2 jams. And, you know, if anybody's ever skated, you know what it feels like. You can have the jelliest of legs in those first 2 jams, and literally all the training, all the drills you've ever done kind of just go out your brain, and it is freak out time. So really great call by the coaches, the bench coaches there, to be able to call that time out and just allow Toulouse to reset. What we've seen is utter success.
Yeah, absolutely. With, you know, so they just had the 23-point jam put up by, I forgot the name, well up for it, that's it.
Yeah.
Who put up the big jam just before the timeout. I think Toulouse have won pretty much every jam, or 3 out of the 4 jams since then, even if they haven't had lead.
Yep.
Although they will be starting the next jam with a box full.
Yep.
They do have jammer, pivot and blocker.
That's Toulouse, just to be clear. Yep.
Yes, sorry,
Yep.
my apologies.
Nope, it's all right.
And so that will be Champagne that will start with the star.
Yep.
And has, I would guess, about 20 seconds to serve, because the jam was called for injury with about that long to go.
Yeah, good point. Good point, because we were thinking that we were going to start on a very micro power start for Rainy City due to the seconds on the clock. But with
both of us were trying to watch the clock or watch when they sat down to see whether it would be a power start or not.
So this is a power start, and that is a 4-1-4. Rusty.
So it's Rusty's first time out with the star. I like that, the little thumbs up to the bench, just to let the bench know you've heard what they're saying.
Rusty comes in, goes 1-on-1 with number 28, Babone, who picks up a penalty for that piece of action. But Rusty already now recycled back to turn 4, right behind jam line. As jammer for Toulouse comes back on track, it's Sweeney with a star pass.
It's actually Jack and Decker, number 64, that has the star. Sweeney is on track, but is not the pivot. Sweeney's at the front working with Lylove, trying to hold back Rusty.
Are doing a great job so far, but will run out of track here as Rusty makes it through, picking up points as she goes. Nothing to Lose jammer held at the back of the pack, feeling that swarm of Rainy City. Short little mole pivotal to that, now joined by Shiv Roy. It's a no from me, also holding strong here.
Is that Nepo Baby on the inside? It is, yes. But Rusty's not bothered. Rusty's picking up another 4 points. As the star has now been put on by Jack and Decker.
And just really feeling this for the Toulouse jammer here as she's held in that crunch by turn 1.
Very smart play there by Short Little Mole, that's it. As Rusty was being recycled, they took it. Short Little Mole knocked out Lylove so Rusty could re-enter the track a bit quicker.
Yeah, looking to do the same again, although Rusty is recycled back. All the action in turn 1 as Toulouse Jammer finally finds the space, breaks on through to complete that initial. But Rusty, with that wonderful awareness, calls off the jam. 3 further points picked up for Rainey in that pass, takes their jam total to 11. Nothing to lose, unable to score in that round of play. Their total 26 right now. Rainy City All-Stars at 65.
And taking the stars at this time, we have number 191, Missy Hammer for Nothing to Lose, up against 873. That is Gnarly. And Gnarly trying to get round on the outside. Champagne trying to hold Gnarly back, but Gnarly picks up lead once more. Missy Hammer just manages to get back hips behind hips of Banshee to avoid the penalty, but then gets stuck on Uma Thumpin and Penny Block.
Yeah, we can absolutely see between turns 3 and 4 all this action here as both jammers looking to find that millimetre of space that will propel them through and on to point scoring heaven.
Is it Millie this time with the drawback on Gnarly, bring them all the way back. But this time Gnarly does make it through, picks up the 4.
And Nothing to Lose Jammer being knocked out, forced to recycle behind Uma Thurmpin and Banshee. Gnarly coming around once again, taking a little spin in the centre of that pack just to try and become an impossible object to contain. Uma Thumpin with the knockout and recycle once again as we move between turns 3 and 4. And it's a real crunch right here, isn't it?
And the star has been passed. Champagne did well with the fake out. Looked to take the star. Uma Thumpin saw it, went to cover them off. Champagne stopped and then went again.
Love that. Jam comes to an end. 4 further points picked up by Rainey in that last moment of play. Let's see what that's done to the scoreline.
Oh, halfway through the first period. Where did that go?
It's wild. 8 points picked up for Rainey, takes them to 73. Nothing to Lose on 26. And as you say, King, we are halfway through. Toulouse having taken a timeout. Rainey haven't taken a timeout yet. And it is Fairy Quake with the star for Rainy City.
And Trash Panda fighting against that 3 wall at the back for Toulouse, but lead jammer once more to Rainy and Fairy Quake.
I think Trash Panda is going to stash here, look to do a little fake out to the pivot for Toulouse, but keeps on rolling. And quite rightly, Trash Panda has had great success against Rainy in this game so far and is an absolute, bang-on jammer for this kind of play, really.
That's exactly it. And you see, Rainy very smart there. Fairy Quake was not to the inside, but only put one hand out of track. So you can just get up and carry on. There's, no harm, no foul. 4 points, hit it and quit it.
Yeah, beautiful work, and we are resetting into another jam. I feel like there's been about 1 million jams as well. It's all action. Now joining us on the stream, although you won't get to see a wonderful face or hear a beautiful voice, it is the fantastic Very Cherry, who will be feeding us stats and facts throughout the game. So if you're wondering how we sound so knowledgeable, it's probably Very Cherry. Well up for it once again, picks up lead jammer for Rainy City.
And Champagne has the star and has stashed it, but the pivot in the backdraft has gone to the box.
Beautiful work by Well Up for It then. You saw just that really
well
quick
down
turn
for it
of
then
speed.
with that dip.
Yeah, absolutely, a little bean dip. Has a beautiful turn of speed, just dips into the corner, then propels out so quick. Toulouse weren't able to answer. This time, just able to see those spaces, that path through the pack to get through pretty much unopposed. But Toulouse finding themselves again on this straightaway between turns 2 and 3. Or 3 and 4 rather, that would be the straightaway. Basic geography of a roller derby track.
It's been a while since we've done this. We've all had a break. I'm trying to see where the start. No, Champagne does still have the star and has escaped from the pack, along with being told to go for it. Well up for it was signalling, do I call it, and no, because of penalty boxes, she's told to keep going, and plus that Rainey wall has been very successful at holding back pretty much whoever's had the start for Nothing to Lose.
Yeah, it's Shiv Roy up there at the front with Uma Thurmpim.
Cardboard box was in there as well.
Yeah, thank you. And also, it is Toulouse Jammers, so they've completed their initial pass. This is their first scoring pass, I believe. So, whilst we've got Rainey already posting 20 points and a beautiful side surf, picks up a further 4 from well up for it, takes them over the 100 mark. And the highest scoring jam. The stats just keep on coming from Very Cherry today. I'm almost overwhelmed by them. 24-point jam king in that last period of play. How did Toulouse answer this now? They've had one timeout when this happened to them previously.
I think the key thing for them at the minute is they need to find a way to get their jammers out. They need to get the offense working a little bit better. Because, Rainier picking up the leads, but can you then get your jammer out to limit the damage, to stop the bleed, so to speak? And that's what Missy Hammer is trying to do this time, and is lead.
Yeah. Listening into the stream, taking your advice. Beautiful work. So we're seeing Rainey with the star pass. That is to Nepo Baby. But as you say, Toulouse in the driving seat here. Lead jammer, Yeatman, and number 75, Short Little Mole, were the last line of defence, unable to hold Toulouse's jammer.
So Missy Hammer's picked up 4, make that 8. Nice sweep on the outside. Sweeney, one of the blockers that managed to open the door. And they're still managing to hold back Nepo Baby at the back. But some jammer games as Nepo Baby takes Missy Hammer back, but Missy Hammer was on the inside, so could retake the track fairly quickly.
Nepo Baby looks to Short Little Mole to find the space. Short Little Mole opens up, burrows, if you will, into the pack to create that space. Nepo Baby gets through, 4 points picked up for Rainey. But Toulouse with a fantastic jam of 12 points.
So that was the thing, what helped Toulouse hindered Rainey was blockers. For a lot of that jam, Rainey had at least 1, if not 2, in the box.
Right.
And that is when you could see the Toulouse offence and the jammers show what they can do when there was that little bit more space on the track. So from a Rainey point of view, if I'm watching that, my key thing is keep 5 skaters on track.
Yeah.
And we have another new jammer.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, massive hit, sorry. Just saw that. Trash Panda with a huge hit.
Bunt with a C is lead jammer for Rainey. Gets knocked to the outside, chooses to call the jam. Does Trash Panda pick up any points there? Quick check-in.
It was a nice hop. Just waiting for our jam referee, Shugs Bunny, having a discussion with one of the other referees, Razor. 2 very good, very experienced officials there. And they're still discussing the 3 points given.
Nice work, Toulouse. 45 points jam total. Rainey City on 106, and we're straight back into the action once again. Well up for it, lead jammer.
Missy Hammer trying to pass their way through Rolala, trying to open the inside door, but couldn't quite get there. I think that was Shiv Roy with a takeout and drawback.
Shiv Roy, aka Kate Push, doing a phenomenal job out on track today. Moved up from the B team, has come through the Rainey City ranks and firmly cementing the spot on the A-team roster with the work that we're seeing. But this is now Super Jam in favour of Toulouse, as well up for it sits in the penalty box.
And it's a no from me, just made Missy Hammer sit down on the outside. And a draw back all the way to the jammer line.
Toulouse blockers looking to attack, trying to find a way in. Sweeney with some great work in the mix of this pack, trying to disrupt the Rainey 3 wall. Held up by Shiv Roy, Yeatman, And it's a no from me. Thumping, working as that floating anchor, just checking in with well up for it, trying to work out where best support's needed.
Beautiful spin on the inside on the toe stops from Missy Hammer to escape, but then gets company from well up for it. And that was just the initial pass of Missy Hammer. That's a hell of a penalty kill from Rainey.
Yeah, real grind out for the Toulouse jammer. Well up for it. Took that short little break in the penalty box, has come back stronger than a 90s trend. Comes it in again. This is
my era.
a third scoring pass underway. Takes a low hit though from the jammer of Toulouse. Takes a moment to reset.
But picks up the low block. The hit on them from Missy Hammer, the opposition jammer, was legal. And as well up for it, fell back onto the track. I didn't see who, but they fell into the legs of one of the Toulouse blockers.
Yeah.
So it will be a power start for Toulouse. And that will be Champagne with the star.
Well, 10 points picked up by Rainy City in that pass. 3 for Toulouse, but as you say, power jam now for them.
I have to say, I've been very impressed with the Rainy pack and the way they reform as the offence comes in. They're almost just sort of shrugging it off and really quick at getting back into position.
Yeah, that quick reform and just not allowing too many opportunities. We say this all the time, but taking away space or speed is how you really trap a jammer, right?
Absolutely. I mean, you're seeing it there as Banshee with the brace with Penny Block.
Yeah.
Just recycling the Toulouse wall and the blockers managing to pick off one, maybe two of them, but only hold them for a split second.
Yeah. And, you know, there's that frustration as well that you see from opposing team blockers, which can then lead to penalties because you're trying to get your teammate out. But fantastic work here. This penalty kill is absolutely textbook. Number 56, Cardboard Box, doing a sterling job. Or 256, sorry, it's big fish. I knew that was. I don't know why I said that. But off to the penalty box for those troubles. Successful penalty kill as this well up for it, back on track for Rainey. But firmly shut down by number 28 for Toulouse.
That's Baboon. That's absolutely strong work at the front. Champagne has got through, picked up lead, found the scoring pass a lot easier. And keeps Toulouse, gets their scoreboard ticking over again. Oh, big hit from Sweeney on well up for it.
And you can see here, Champagne just in the mix of this 3-wall once again, as well up for it, held at the back. Both jammers really fighting for these points here. Well up for it, knocked down once again.
Well up for it's had a tough couple of jams with the penalties and taking a few big hits.
I've got to say, Baboon is an absolute standout blocker for Toulouse.
Having a solid game. Sweeney as well, number 19.
Really great jammer awareness, and that marking of the jammer working out so well for Toulouse as jam comes to an end. Oof, I feel like rubbing arnica on myself having watched that.
We have a timeout called by Rainy City.
Yeah, Toulouse picking up 8 points in that last piece of play. Rainy City answering with 4 points of their own. So scores currently, nothing to lose, 56, Rainy City All-Stars, 120, and we've got, just under 4 minutes left of this first half.
That's flown by.
Yeah.
But the good thing is, although this game is flying by, we do have 3 more today. Following this game at approximately 1 p.m, we will see Crime City Rollers versus Helsinki RollerDerby.
Yep.
That will be followed at approximately 3 p.m, where Nothing to Lose will return to the track to face London Brawling.
Yep.
And then the final game of the day, Crime City versus Rainy City.
My favourite matchups. Kind of sad that I'm not seeing London versus Rainy this weekend, but it's a tale as old as time, certainly that one. What's really exciting here is seeing the physicality of both these teams, and especially having seen London versus Stockholm this morning, King, understanding how that physicality is going to be matched in these later games. So London absolute powerhouses this morning, really dominating that track, owning it from the moment, pulling out with a huge lead. You know, are they going to do the similar thing to Toulouse, or are Toulouse going to take the juice from this game, whoever wins this game, take the juice from it and then really go on to try and find a way to stamp their mark on the London game?
Okay, I'll come back to that in a moment. We do have Trash Panda, lead jammer for Toulouse.
And that's Bunt with a C, wearing the star for Rainy City.
Easily identifiable with the bright red hair.
Yeah. Trash Panda through and looking for this scoring pass, being held at the back by Nepo Baby. It's a no from me. And of course, Short Little Mole. And Toulouse Jammer calling off the jam.
1 point given up.
Yep.
Didn't quite call it in time, but did pick up 3. But yeah, it's one thing I was going to say, going to the point we're saying about the physicality. When was the last time that these teams played more than one game in a day?
Yeah, I guess for Rainy it would have been Euro Cup last year.
But we've not had the big events that we've had previously, pre-pandemic. So it'll be interesting to see how the stamina goes for all of these teams.
Yeah, and I think, you know, a lot at this level, a lot of these teams do train for longer days as well, so they do try and build up that stamina, but there's nothing quite like game day adrenaline to also add into the mix, which you can't replicate back home, right?
Exactly. Missy Hammer has picked up lead, although did get reabsorbed into the pack by a combination of Uma Thumpin, I think, cardboard box, which means that Gnarly has escaped the pack, and Missy Hammer decides, yeah, we'll call that one off, we'll end that, somebody else can have a go. 3
lead jams in a row for Nothing to Lose. So doing a fantastic job of work here, really trying to change around that differential and also the domination in this first half. We have got just under 2 minutes left of this first half. Nothing to Lose at 59, Rainy City All-Stars at 1-1. If you're just joining us, you've missed a cracking first half, but don't worry, you can catch all the games. You can catch up on them later. You don't need to sleep.
Sleep is overrated.
We've got a Rusty Bullet 414 with the star for Rainy City.
And just gets past the last blocker at the front, which was Baboon. And so star is stashed by Champagne. And now it has been passed to Jack and Decker. Nice little sneaky pass on the outside. As Rusty Bullet is pushing through, trying to get through, picks up, gets the 4 points, hit it and quit it. So we've got about a minute left, so we should have time, or we will have time for at least one more jam. The score's currently 125 to the Rainy City All-Stars in the white and 59 to Nothing to Lose in the black.
And lining up, it looks like Bunt with the C for Rainy City. And Trash Panda. So I feel like Rainy have they changed their lineup against Trash Panda? I can't decide, because I think it was Fairy Quake originally when we saw that kind of jammer rotation.
I think certainly with Rainy they've been rotating their jammers more. Oh!
Beautiful work.
That's sensational from Trash Panda.
Yeah. That little jump and a spin to just really neutralise the work of the Rainy blockers to get on through and pick up lead was fabulous. Comes in again now, hits quite heavy, and that is a back block penalty being assessed. That was on cardboard box.
But it's also Trash Panda will sit in the box, and that will now be a power jam for Bunt with a C.
Yeah, Bunt with a C makes it out, picks up those points. Of course, not lead jammer, so this jam will run for the full length of time. And there is a little bit of penalty trouble going on for Toulouse here, as a blocker also joins their jammer in the penalty box. Yeah, Rainy with their pivot in the penalty box right now, as Bunt with a C pushes on forward, ensures that Toulouse run out of track, have to let it go.
So we are down now to jam time remaining. The period of clock has expired, but as you said, the jam will go 2 minutes, and Bunt with a C picks up 4 more with beautiful one-footed backwards glide out of the pack.
Trash Panda is back on track and in play for Toulouse, answering with 4 points of her own. As Bunt with a C comes in. Oh, Trash Panda, little dip, a little hummus dip in the middle of the track.
Absolutely lovely to pick up for what is a big collision between Bunt with a C and Nina Backdraft on the outside, which is what forced Bunt with a C to have to recycle.
Cardboard box with the little hit off forces that recycle back to jam line. Trash Panda comes in low but is held quite decisively by the 3-wall from Rainey.
As the offense goes flying in.
Yeah, Sweeney trying to knock out Big Fish there, but not able to land it as that jam came to an end. Let's see those points. Nothing to lose. Looks like they picked up 12. Rainey City scraping through on the positive with 14 points for them, and that does take us to half-time.
And what a half it's been.
Yeah.
We've seen Rainey got out to that big start. They had a couple of big jams, one definitely from Well Up For It.
Yeah.
They put up, I think it was 24 points in one jam.
Two jams from Well Up For It with the highest scoring
was
jam.
it 23 and 24?
23 and 24, yeah.
I couldn't remember if Well Up For It did both. I knew they'd done the second one. But what you've seen is they got out to that lead, and then Toulouse have managed to hold it fairly steady over the sort of second part of the half.
Yeah, I think what Toulouse have done really well is they've took sort of almost like micro, they've really focused on that one specific jam and just ground it down. 4 points, 8 points, 11 points, 12 points, and they've managed to bring that differential into a much more palatable area than I think they were facing at the beginning of this jam. Some of that was definitely the smart timeout they took for jam after jam 2, after the first big jam. But then other than that, they've really just looked at answering the defence that Rainey City have been putting up. So it's going to be really interesting to see when we come back from half-time if those tactics change up, if they increase or whatever. But listen, you go and get a drink, and I'm going to go and get a drink, and we're going to see you back here in about 13 minutes' time.
Something like that. See you soon. We're back.
We are.
We're back. Ready for the second half of Rainey City versus Nothing to Lose. Just a quick look. Rainey City in the first half had 20 penalties. Nothing to Lose had 15. So I'm thinking, putting my bench coach head on for a second. For Rainey, the jams are doing really well, and they're doing well at holding the blockers when you keep your blockers on track. So it would be potentially for Rainey, look at maybe sort of playing within themselves a little bit to try and make sure that you stay on track, sort of play at sort of 70%. For Toulouse, I mentioned it during the first half, they've got to find a way to get the jammers out of the pack.
Yeah.
So they are struggling with that at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you mentioned those penalties. Who are we seeing that's really in trouble? Uma Thumping from Rainey City, right? They've picked up 4 penalties. Other than that, Banshee on 88.
On 88? That's impressive.
Whoa, hold the phone here. RollerDerby has changed. No, absolutely. Number 88, Banshee, with 3 penalties. So there is that little bit of danger because they are 2 game-changing blockers. We're about to get straight back into it now and on track and in play. So we're going to go over to the track. You won't have to see my sunglassed beauty anymore. Okay, here we go. Second half, as you said, how are Toulouse going to answer now?
So Trash Panda and Well Up For It are the jammers of record. Trash Panda finds a gap on the inside, picks up lead jammer.
Well Up For It making time, but finds the space as one of Toulouse blockers goes to the penalty box. Track cut penalty. Well Up For It around the outside on that one-footed spin.
So that'll be interesting. Did Well Up For It get hips in front of hips? Because if they did, it'll be 3 points for the 2 sat in the penalty box.
Oh yeah, as you say, 1 point for Nothing to Lose, and we go again. It is 4 points for Rainey City in answer, and it is of course Fairy Quake with the star for Rainey City.
And looking, I think that's Missy Hammer, 191. Fairy Quake makes short work of that 2 wall. Arms tucked behind the back to make sure avoided the forearms penalty, and did so very successfully.
Yeah, so here we go. Fairy Quake knocked to the inside, recovers super quick, takes a beautiful side surf on the outside line.
Picks up the 4 points, despite the best efforts of Champagne. There's a multiplayer block on the Jammer, Missy Hammer. So Fairy Quake will now be on the Power Jam.
So Toulouse Jammer sits in the penalty box. Fairy Quake comes round once again. Beautiful little pop out by Nepo Baby to clear the space.
Toulouse now do have the full complement of blockers back on track. It's Nepo Baby, and it's a no from me, trying to find a way to open the door for Fairy Quake. But Baboon and company, Lilov was up there as well, shut that door.
Fairy Quake then with that beautiful pause and reset. Oh, but it was an illegal pause and reset, I think.
Not quite that beautiful.
Oh, beautiful, just illegal. Like me. So it is Jammer Fortunes reversed. Toulouse now with the Power Jam for the final 30 seconds of this jam.
So Missy Hammer is still on the initial, hence the Star Stash, Nepo Baby, and it's a no from me. Keep going, hit after hit after hit. But great work from Missy Hammer to get through and complete that initial pass.
Pack starts to run slightly. Rainy City looking to defend against this Power Jam as Fairy Quake returns to play. Hits the back of the pack just by turn 4. There's a 3-wall built by Toulouse. Comes around that but finds herself swallowed up once again by the Toulouse Jammers as 0-6 Champagne doing some stellar work out on track as Jam comes to an end.
15 points to 3 in favour of Rainy City in that jam. Don't forget, if you are watching, let us know. Hashtag Anarchy7 on the Twitter, and we'll have a look and we'll see. We'll give you a shout out if it comes through.
The Twitter.
The Twitter. The Twitter.
Double T.
It's the Twitter.
We are resetting 15 points to Rainy in that last jam, as you said. Nothing to lose now on 75. Rainy City on 158 as Norley takes the star, but it is Toulouse with lead jammer.
Jack and Decker gets through, picks up lead for Toulouse. Again, this time they've managed to keep their blockers on track, which is making life very difficult for Gnarly.
Yeah, it looks like Gnarly's quite happy to hang out in the pack here and just wait to see where her blockers need to be most of all. Banshee, that late hit on Jack and Decker, but Jack and Decker's through. 4 points picked up for Toulouse.
As Nina backdraft Champagne and Baboon do a great job reabsorbing Gnarly into the pack.
Toulouse really answering Rainy City's tactics in this second half. We're seeing Jammers being held up and Toulouse really making those gains as Jack and Decker comes in, picks up the points once again and calls off the jam. Nothing Toulouse certainly in control here. 8 points on the board for them. No points for Rainy City.
We mentioned at half-time Toulouse needing to get the jammers out. Baboon then with the beautiful sweep on the inside right at the end to allow Jack and Decker to get through and pick up those all-important points. And trying to match those points and keep Toulouse's upward spiral going. It was Trash Panda, but well up for it, is well out of the pack with lead jammer.
Yep. Off like a little hot rocket, comes in again now on this scoring pass, hits the pack, finds a little bit of resistance. Number 19 Sweeney, last line of defence, joined by number 28 Babon.
And Millie's there as well. Sorry, Rolala, sorry, my apologies, 1-1-1. But well up for it, does get through. Trash Panda has stashed the star, looking for Jacques and Decker out the front. But Short Little Mole doing a good job keeping the pivot and jammer apart.
Short Little Mole, an absolute disruptor for Rainy City. Really gets in the way of wall building and plans made by pivots.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful star stash. Jack and Decker is now out the front. And well up for it, it's just waiting for the box to be emptied. as This Is How We Do It is released, calls the jam.
So smart work by Toulouse, certainly, as we've come into this second half, and we're really seeing them answering Rainy City's tactics. However, Rainy City just able to regain control in that jam and play it to their advantage, ensuring the clock ran down on those penalties before calling off that jam, and still coming away with 8 points whilst holding Toulouse at 0.
And again, the emptying the box goes back to what I was saying earlier about Rainy needing to keep the blockers on track.
Yep.
So it means that they can start with a full complement of blockers. Although referees are talking to both benches at the minute, so we'll see what happens if anybody moves from the bench to the bin. Just while we've got this, I just want to give a huge thank you to all of our officials, photographers, volunteers, medics, NSOs, our brilliant tech crew, the DJs, coaches, skaters, track repair crew, and more and more and more and more and more.
So don't forget, we have got plenty of exciting games coming up for you for the rest of today. We're excited to see our next matchup, Crime City versus Helsinki at 1 p.m. UK time. Nothing to Lose versus London Brawling at 3 p.m. and Crime City versus Rainy City at 5 p.m. I am the lovely Beatrix talking you through the action, joined by the amazing
King Crazy.
And also on production, we have the fantastic Very Cherry, keeping us well fed and watered with stats and facts. But right now, Very Quake on track, lead jammer for Rainy City.
And it's just about already completed the first scoring pass as Missy Hammer's hung up on the back. I say it's Missy Hammer. It is Missy Hammer, yes. Star has been stashed. That confused me. Doesn't take a lot this early in the morning. Very Quake, beautiful toe stops. Jam has been called. I think Missy Hammer took a hard shot to the solar plexus.
I would say that Fairy Quake move was almost like a stride in mid-air, just able to reach across with those powerful Fairy Quake legs to get around the defences of Toulouse, grab those points. As you said, 4 points picked up on the board for Rainy City. This jam has been called due to injury.
I think that's something you're talking about, Fairy Quake with the long strides there. Fairy Quake, when they were younger, certainly used to be a dancer and used to do, I think it was like ballet that they used to do. Many years ago. I've been fortunate enough, I've known Fairy for quite some time. And you sort of see, especially with the balance and the core strength with Fairy, you see that quite a lot, the way that they're able to just maintain basically their position on track and just find the gap where there doesn't seem to be one.
Yeah, keeping that centre of gravity really helps them absorb those blocks as well, to get out of those sticky situations that blockers like to put jammers in. So we are just taking a couple of moments, and we'd like to say once again that London RollerDerby are really proud to give Gendered Intelligence a platform at Anarchy this weekend. Gendered Intelligence is a registered charity that works to increase understanding of gender diversity and to improve trans people's quality of life. They are a trans-led and trans-involving grassroots organisation which runs training, campaigns and support services for trans and gender non-conforming people. You can check out their website at genderedintelligence.co.uk, and you can also make a donation on their website, or keep your eye out for a QR code on our stream adverts in between games, where you can also donate through the power of technology.
Just while we've got this break, I'm just going to run through our fantastic officials.
Yep.
Make sure they get the love that they deserve. Our NSOs are Hissing Hellcat, X-Ray Ted, Swearwolf, Cluster Schmuck, Hannah, Says Who, Emery of the Stats, Dorian Gray, Jack, Blockness Monster, Cataclysm and Jussosaurus. And keeping all the skaters safe in the middle are our fabulous Dazzle of Zebras, McFarlane, Razor, Shugs Bunny, Enka, Lucas, Pyrie, Katsaselze and Emily of the State.
And if you are joining us on live stream, maybe you're coming down to Crystal Palace tomorrow, maybe you're just going to watch us on live stream all weekend, use the hashtag Anarchy7 to keep us informed and up to date on everything you're doing. As King Crazy said, you could try it on the Twitter, or the Facebook, or the Instagram, or maybe the TikToks, or the Snapchats, I don't know. Oh, and producer Cherry also says the Bebo and also MySpace. So we've got all the opportunities for you to share with us what you're doing. We're obviously here on the live stream trying to paint you the picture of roller derby in Crystal Palace this weekend. And I think we're doing a mighty fine job of it. Crewed by the excellent head announcer, Loud and Queer, who is keeping us in check and on track. No easy feat. So let's just run through what is happening again today. You've already had London Brawling versus Stockholm. If you missed that, let me give you the scores. If you don't want to hear the scores, shut your ears now. London 214, Stockholm 43. Right now you're watching Nothing to Lose versus Rainy City. At 1 p.m. it's Crime City Rollers versus Helsinki. At 3 p.m. Nothing to Lose versus London Brawling. And at 5 p.m. Crime City Rollers versus Rainy City Roller Derby. Not sure what your plans are tomorrow? I can tell you right now what they're going to be. 9 a.m. with your morning Cocoa Pops, you're going to see Stockholm Roller Derby versus Birmingham Roller Derby. At 11, Helsinki versus Rainy City. At 1 p.m, Stockholm versus Tiger Bay Brawlers. At 3 p.m, Crime City versus Nothing to Lose. And at 5 p.m, our final game on the Sunday schedule, Helsinki Roller Derby versus London Brawling. We do hope that you're going to be able to join us for all of those games for over the entirety of this weekend. Really is fantastic to have live roller derby, not just in venue, but also on our screens and on stream.
So is there a game that stands out? Anything in particular that you're looking forward to seeing this weekend?
I mean, obviously, this is the game that I was looking forward to seeing most of all, because I haven't had the opportunity to watch that much of Toulouse Roller Derby, and I think it's always really exciting to see Rainy play somebody who they haven't often matched with previously. But I would also say that I'm looking forward to seeing Tiger Bay versus Stockholm Roller Derby, because Tiger Bay are my bays.
That should be really interesting. I've been fortunate enough to announce both Tiger Bay and Stockholm in the last couple of months, and I think it's going to be a very interesting matchup, that one. So that's certainly one. 1 p.m. British summertime we're on now, aren't we? Need to remember that. So 1 p.m. adjust to your local time zones. But I have to say, for me, the one that I'm most looking forward to is the 5 p.m. game today, Crime City versus Rainy City.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I'm contractually obliged to say any Rainy City game is a good game, but, you know, shout out to the Welsh contingent that will be here this weekend. We'd also like to big a shout out to our photographers. If you aren't in venue, you do get to relive all the memories by seeing some excellent photographs from John Hess, who, you know, is a powerhouse of roller derby and single-handedly brought about some amazing roller derby action across the UK. Floyd King from Birmingham Roller Derby, lover of biscuits and will fight you for the last custard or bourbon cream, it says here, so that's for you. And Paul Jones, our tournament head photographer and Tiger Bay Brawlers photographer, represented Wales in karate, never tried riding a bike and was told he looked like a geriatric turtle when trying to skate. Take from that what you will. That's fantastic. Thank you once again to producer Cherry, doing a fantastic job of giving us all the information while we just take an extended break due to the injury in that last jam. So as we take this time as well, we would also like to say that London are starting to have a new intake. 7th of May is when it all kicks off. London Roller Derby's next fundamental intake. You can follow them on social media for more information, but the sessions will run from 12 till 2 at Bridge Park Leisure Centre in Stonebridge. And the fundies train weekly. There's no experience required, but you will need to sort out some kit. Looks like we're about to reset into the next jam.
Yeah, Missy Hammer is back up and skating under their own power, back to their bench. So they will need to sit for a minimum of 3 jams, and hopefully we will see them again later. Certainly for Toulouse's sake and their jammer rotation, Missy Hammer has been a big part of that, so they do need to hope that she is able to return, and we all hope that as well.
So back to it now. We've got Norley with the star for Rainey picking up lead.
As Jack and Decker is held once more aback by that 3-wall from Rainy City. Short Little Mole, It's a No From Me, This Is How We Do It, and Nepo Baby all combining to make life difficult for Jack and Decker. Whilst Nepo Baby goes in, big sweep on the offense, but Gnarly can't quite keep the footing on the inside.
Gnarly pushing forward into turn 3. Toulouse run out of track. And Gnarly is through, picking up 4 points.
Star has been passed. Champagne does have the star once more for Toulouse. And the out of play call means that It's a No From Me. Has got to let Champagne through. Gnarly calls a jam.
Four points picked up by Rainy City in that last jam. Toulouse held to 0 as we reset.
It will be Trash Panda jamming for Nothing to Lose.
And that is well up for it for Rainy City. Both jammers just jumping and driving, trying to find the space. We know from previous jams, Trash Panda very agile in the jammer stakes, but sorry, excuse me. Well up for it, also agile, however, picks up a penalty.
It's Rusty Bullet actually with the star. I was confused by that as well. Did just put a foot over the inside line and picked up the cut. So that will be a power jam and 4 points picked up by Trash Panda.
Opportunity calls once again now for Toulouse to put plenty of points on the board. Trash Panda dips down to avoid a block from Uma Thumpim, but forced to recycle all the way back. Banshee last line, just by jammer line. Trash Panda having to reset through that gauntlet of blockers from Rainy City once again.
And star stash by Rusty Bullet allows them to complete the initial pass. And Trash Panda gets through, calls out and put up another 4 points, 8 points in total in that jam. 180 plays 93 in favour of Rainy City.
So nothing to lose now, tickling the 100 mark in this jam. 20 minutes left on the clock for this second half. And it is Fairy Quake with the star for Rainy City.
I'm trying to work out who that is. Champagne with the star for Nothing to Lose. Both jammers trying to find a way through the outside, but there's just a lot of bodies there.
Shiv Roy leading the charge here with It's a No From Me, bringing up that 2-wall, allows Fairy Quake opportunity to get on through, pick up lead. Champagne really firmly held in that pincer movement by the Rainy blockers.
The penalty box is getting busier and busier. That's 4 skaters currently sat in it. Penny blockers just returned from the track. So this is the thing, as I mentioned about Rainy wanting to keep blockers on track. Do they run it to empty the box, or do they call it because it's 2 each? This is,
It was a beautiful hit by Fairy Quake, although it was illegal.
You need to stop saying fairy, just beautiful hits. That's twice.
They are beautiful hits. Doesn't matter if they're illegal. They're still pretty good. It was just naughty. Okay, so power jam for Toulouse as Fairy Quake sits in the penalty box, and it is a penalty box heavy on Rainy City blockers. Shiv Roy and Penny Block out front holding Champagne. Shiv Roy last line of defence, has to let her go though. Champagne makes it through. Fairy Quake back on track and in play, joined by It's a No From Me.
Both jammers pushing hard. Champagne, who's been on a very high rotation, either as a jammer or pivot. And jams like this don't help. Having to work really, really hard. There's another penalty. This time it is Millie.
Agatha crushed the last line of defence, but Fairy Quake made it through in the dying seconds of that jam to pick up 4 further points. But nothing to lose with the point positive there. 9 points to them. King takes them to 102. And 8 points to Rainy City takes them to 188.
And I've just seen as Jack and Decker's come back on track, taken the star off Champagne and given the pivot cover to her. So Champagne, having just jammed for 2 minutes, has now got a block.
Powerhouse.
Oh, looks like we do have an official review. Looking at the body language, I think it may have been called by Rainy City. Although the scoreboard tells me it's nothing to lose. I had a 50-50 chance. As yet, Captain Sweeney is speaking to the referees and pointing what they want where. So again, just to remind you, coming up later today, following this game, we have Crime City Rollers versus Helsinki RollerDerby. That will be at approximately 1 p.m. At approximately 3 p.m, we'll see London Brawling and Nothing to Lose. And then at 5 p.m, Crime City will return to the track to play Rainy City.
So the Toulouse are looking to call a misconduct. Have a misconduct call on the Rainy City jammer for that last
It'll be penalty. For the hit on the outside of turn 1.
Yeah, that's right, on Fairy Quake. So the officials will be discussing that. And we will let you know. We've got essentially 17 and a half minutes left of this second half. The second game here at Anarchy number 7, hosted at the fantastic Crystal Palace and organised by the wonderful London Roller Derby. We hope you're enjoying it as much as we are. Coming up next, we have got Crime City Rollers versus Helsinki, a game certainly not to be missed today. And later on, Nothing to Lose versus London Brawling, and then finally Crime City versus Rainy City. Now, I know King went through them once before, but I've got to tell you something. When you're working with limited information, a long time out, you're going to keep on blamming that through. I know producer Cherry looking at me like, what limited information have you got when we've got so many pieces of information to give you? Right now, I'll give you this one. Number 11, it's a no from me, aka Faye Roberts, with 5 penalties in this game so far, but joined by Nina Backdraft from Toulouse, number 72, also with 5 penalties. In terms of any other trouble that we're seeing, really, we've got 3-1-6, that is Uma Thumping at 4, and for Toulouse, number 28, Babon for Toulouse with 4 penalties as well. So I think it's testament actually to the physicality of this game that we're seeing, and it really has been one of those times where blockers, jammers, everybody have been keen to really get their shoulders, their hips, every part of themselves into those spaces to help out their jammers. Because the defence has been so tight from both teams, it's often come down to where the jammers have just been able to find the spaces that blockers like Short Little Mole for Rainy City have been able to literally crowbar open for them. We've not seen lots of spacing. We're seeing those packs super tight in the straightaways, in the turns, or really stretching out to go one-on-one. Rainy certainly not afraid at all to take on jammers, one-on-one, a blocker against a jammer, and Toulouse answering that with similar physicality of their own, King.
Absolutely, yeah. It's almost like the teams have forgotten they've got 2 more games to play this weekend.
Yeah. Or maybe they're just well up for it. Maybe this is what they want to do. Absolutely.
If you do want to give us something to talk about, please tweet in using the hashtag Anarchy7. Let us know where you're watching from. Are you having watch parties? And as always, on any Roller Derby Twitter hashtag, please send us pictures of your pets.
Oh, yes, please. Pictures of cats. So it looks like that penalty has been upgraded to a misconduct, and Fairy Quake will be ejected from the game. Rainey will be skating now one short on their jammer rotation.
But they do have, well, they have been using a 5 jammer rotation with Well Up For It, Rusty, Bunt With a C, and Norley.
Yeah.
So, well, you never ever want to lose a jammer. It's not as terminal as it could be.
Yeah. It's not like they're on a 2 jammer rotation. That would be really sad, wouldn't it? So game is about to resume after that official review, and it is number 704, Bunt With a C, taking the star for Rainy City.
And they will be up against number 64, Jack and Decker, for nothing to lose.
1 blocker apiece in the penalty box for both teams. As we get straight back into that action, Black and Decker really pushing forward, but Bunt With a C finds the space, picks up lead jammer quickly and cleanly for Rainy City.
And again, Jack and Decker once again struggling at the back of that wall. I think, you know, Uma thumping once more. Just absolutely holding the line down. Cardboard boxes there as well.
Yeah.
As Bunt With a C finds a gap around the outside, picks up 4 points. Star has been passed to Champagne. I did mention that Champagne had just done the 2-minute jam, but there has been a 5-minute break, so hopefully they've got their breath back.
Champagne really fighting it out here, trying to find the space. Nepo Baby with the slow down. Uma thumping with some excellent marking. Has to let Champagne go, though.
As Jack and Decker, having passed the star, will go and sit in the penalty box for a low block. Lots of people fall on the outside, but everybody gets up again.
Bunt With a C just trying to find the space here, but comes into an unfortunate block with number 19. That's Sweeney. Sweeney resets. Bunt With a C through, 4 further points posted on the board for Rainy City. And we're seeing again this standstill between turns 3 and 4, King, where the Toulouse jammer pinned by Rainy City blockers as Bunt With a C finds easy space on the inside line to pick up 4 further points for Rainy.
Again, the Rainy blockers, as we just see, Lily Gaskell. I'm trying to talk about blockers. I'm now talking about jammers.
Oh.
Bunt With a C, no.
Both jammers picking up a track cut penalty there. So it was nothing to lose. Champagne sitting first, who will be released first, and then almost immediately Bunt With a C as jam comes to an end. And yeah, Rainy City now at the 200 mark. Thanks so much, producer Cherry, for pointing that out with that 12-point jam. Nothing to lose, able to pick up 4 points in that jam. 4 really hard-earned points. Yeah.
What was quite interesting at the end of that jam was Bunt With a C went across the apex, stopped, there was a whistle, track cut signal. Oh, okay, it's their jammer, I'm fine. Oh, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to the action. And I believe we have Well Up For It. Sorry, no, it's not Well Up For It, is it? That's Gnarly up against Trash Panda.
Yeah. Trash Panda, that really, as we said before, agile jammer, but now just having that space took away with It's a No From Me leading the charge, but finds it on the inside line, able to just turn those hips and find the space on the inside line beautifully. Norley through on the scoring pass, chooses to call off the jam. Picks up 3 points for Rainy, denies Toulouse scoring opportunity.
So we have a 96-point lead for Rainy. Extended, it was 68 points at half-time, so they are just creeping that lead out.
A lot can happen though in the next 14 minutes, and I think Toulouse, now they're over that 100 mark, it gives you juice, doesn't it?
Yeah, just seeing that score, they've been able to keep that scoreboard ticking on. And it just seems to be that obviously it looks like they've lost a jammer to injury as well, so Missy Hammer has not returned as of yet.
well up for it, finds those spaces. It is Missy Hammer with the star right now, but passing over, I think.
Nope, star stash at the minute.
Yep.
Champagne is in position to receive the star. And well up for it is in position to receive the 4 points.
Beautiful work. Champagne does take the star for Toulouse. So this will be third jam on the run for Champagne as jammer in some capacity. Nope, nothing from anybody on my team there. Thanks for that, guys.
Sorry, I was distracted by something.
Beautiful bridge.
It happens. It happens to the best of us. We have a timeout being taken. That I do know.
Is it by us?
It was by me, apparently.
Well, look
don't know
at
where
this
I've gone.
replay here. You can see sort of well up for it, coming through and calling off that jam in the last moments. Champagne, I believe, just jammed 3 times in a row. In some capacity.
Madness.
So, you know, despite that 5-minute official review timeout, that's still an immense amount of work, especially when you're coming up against those defensive walls from Rainy City. Even if they're just a 2-wall, you know, they still feel pretty intense.
Yeah, I was distracted. We have been tweeted from Lynn Rycroft, who's saying, "Short Little Mole is rocking my world." Love from their one-person watch party on the sofa in Chiltern.
Love
so
that.
Thank you very much for tweeting in. And that filled that gap perfectly. As we have Trash Panda and Bunt with a C. With the stars 3-on-3 in the pack. And Champagne's out there with a pivot again. Champagne should be renamed the Energizer Bunny, I think.
Yeah. Trash Panda's ability to absorb hits and then take that energy for them is absolutely phenomenal for me. Buntsy is lead jammer. Trash Panda not back and recycle, but you see here as she comes through the pack once again, just leaning in almost to those hits and allowing that to play out before pushing forward. Finds the space here, gets through on that initial as Bunt with a C knocked inside, forced to recycle and forced to call off the jam.
Yeah, delayed the call off again, just that extra few seconds to allow Penny Block to be released. As again, Rainey trying to keep all 4 blockers on track as much as possible. Missy Hammer returns to the track for Toulouse. And that is Gnarly who has the star for Rainy City.
Game is in play. Missy Hammer just using a full body push out there. Works out super well to get Uma Thumping out of the way. Not lead jammer, but through that pack first of all and coming into a point scoring position as Norley makes it out, picks up lead, but smart jammer awareness, calls off that jam, denies the opportunity.
Yeah, very smart awareness there. Sort of Norley, as they got out of the pack, heard the whistle, looked at the jammer, thought, oh, I'm lead, call it.
Yeah.
Yeah, very quick, very heads-up gameplay.
Yeah. And, you know, I guess you'd appreciate this as a bench coach when your jammers are really tuned in and listening to the bench as well and really taking direction.
Yes. Yeah, it certainly helps. Having benched MRDA, it can be a nice surprise when they behave themselves.
Well, right now, behaving out on track, it is nothing to lose, and Rainy City, 11 minutes left of this game. Nothing to lose on 107, Rainy City 2-11, as well up for it, picks lead jammer.
Short Little Mole just burrowed through the pack to open the door there. To open the door for well up for it. Chased down by Jack and Decker.
And Jack and Decker coming in to a scoring position as well up for it, calls off the jam, denies opportunity once again, picking up 2 points for Rainey. And this, you know, hit it and quit it strategy, it's a frustration if you're on the opposing team. You're the jammer, you can almost taste those points. Taste those juicy points and have them snatched away.
Absolutely, just timing the the calls and the call-offs just to the last moment. And it is frustrating when you look at your scoreboard and your score's just not changing.
Static, yeah. I think that what that does then is it puts those high tariff moves on the table, which is then where we see even more penalties. Uma Thumping, last line of defence, then the wonderful Trash Panda, once again with that as absorbent as a microfiber towel on those hits.
I think Trash Panda just seems to almost be getting stronger as the game's going on.
Yeah, absorbing the power of all those blockers, King.
Speaking of absorbing power, huge hit from Uma Thumping. But Trash Panda is back up and all the way back, and this time finds a gap on the inside. This bump with the C's being ridden by Sweeney, but just gets through. Initial pass completed.
Trash Panda in that mix, calls off the jam as Bump with the C comes in. Nothing to lose, handing out a taster platter of Rainy City's medicine. We've got a team timeout. 4 points picked up by Nothing to Lose in that last jam, takes them to 1-1-1.
So 112-point lead for Rainy currently. It's been similar through the second half in terms of the pattern. Rainy will pick up a sort of string of leads, and then Toulouse will fight back for a couple of jams, and then it swings back to Rainy. But I've been really impressed with Rainy's defence.
Yeah.
Rainy's blockers have made life incredibly difficult for some very good jammers.
Yeah, and I think, as we said before, it's that willingness. You can see some work here on this replay. Uma Thumping, yeah.
That hit from Uma Thumping.
Yeah. Just that willingness to go one-on-one against the jammer rather than taking a team with you. Sometimes that increases the amount of opportunities you've got to disrupt the jammer's flow.
But also, one thing, again, that's impressed me with Rainy, there is that one-on-one, but quite often they're all capable of doing the one-on-one, but they're not on their own very often. They are managing to recycle and reform very quickly.
Yeah. Straight back into the action. Rusty Bullet with the star for Rainy City, but it is Missy Hammer, lead jammer for Nothing to Lose.
And Rusty picks up the forearms penalty, so that will be a power jam. Rusty didn't realise they'd got the penalty. Now they do, and will take themselves to the penalty box as Missy Hammer trying to find a way. Does get past Nepo Baby.
Nepo Baby joined by Short Little Mole. And it is a penalty, forearms on Nothing to Lose jammer. So Missy Hammer sitting in that penalty box. Rusty Bullet will be released.
So it'll be interesting to see, because Rusty was holding her back as she was making her way to the box. I did wonder if she was going to look for a star pass, but no, she's carried on going. Missy Hammer has returned as well, having served the same amount of time that Rusty served, because it's a jammer switch.
Some beautiful defensive work you're seeing here from the Toulouse blockers up at the front of the pack, keeping Rusty Bullet at bay. We now move on though. Missy Hammer back on track, comes through, completes that pass to pick up 4 fabulous points for Toulouse.
Mrs. Rusty completes the initial pass. Missy Hammer tried the apex jump, didn't make it. Just holding the front of their thigh.
Going to have to recycle back into turn 4. Comes up against Shiv Roy. Banshee also in attendance. And Short Little Mole bridging out of that pack with Nepo Baby. Certainly Rusty Bullet left to fend for herself here. Knocked out and recycled back to turn 4. Yeah. Joining Nothing to Lose jammer as a jam comes to it. Felt like the longest jam.
I think that was a very long 2 minutes for all involved.
Toulouse able to pick up 5 points to Rainy City's 3, putting them in the positive. And their overall total so far, 116 to Rainy City's 216.
So I think from Toulouse's point of view now, you're looking at the 100-point score differential, six and a half minutes to go. Can you get it below 100? It's looking almost for the small wins.
Yeah. Great goal to have as well, isn't it? You know, you're not going to win the game at this point, but what can you do in terms of keeping those differentials in a nice place? Norley here to mess up your differentials with that quick pass and then a 4-pointer and call it.
Again, you saw at the front, as they came out the front of the pack, Uma Thumping just literally grabbing Gnarly and throwing her forward to make sure she's got the points. Just to think, this is only game 2. We've got 3 more yet.
An exciting day of roller derby ahead of us. 2 games under our belt. What a time to have roller derby in your eyeballs. As well up for it. Saw daylight at the end of that pack and was denied it by some fabulous work.
Yeah, it's Baboon with a takeout and drawback to start with, and that time Champagne, who is back on track as Jack and Decker is forced to recycle. I believe that will be the 7th penalty for It's a No from me. And Lee Jammer does go to Jack and Decker.
Jack and Decker's tenacity paying off. As well up for it passes the start to Nepo Baby.
Jack and Decker absorbing the big hit from Shiv Roy.
Choosing to call off that jam. Were there any tasty points on display though? 3 points picked up by Nothing to Lose. Nil point for Rainy City. 4 minutes 50 left of this game, the second game here at Anarchy number 7. And as you said, we did have a foul out. That was number 11. It's a no from me, aka Faye Roberts. Trash Panda certainly going to be trying to take as much advantage as possible here. Picks up lead for Toulouse in this next jam. Bunt with a C. You try and chase down, but about half a track away as Trash Panda able to call off the jam. Keep those tasty points all in the pocket of Toulouse.
Going back to what I was saying a couple of minutes ago, that's got the gap down below the 100 points. So it's silly little things, silly little targets that you can set yourselves when you're in a game that's gone away from you. As you said, not going to win it, but what can they do to get some momentum for the 3 o'clock game against London Brawling?
Yeah, absolutely. Norley with the star for Rainy City, out like a rocket of that pack. Straight up the inside line. Being chased down though by Missy Hammer. Only mere seconds between them. Norley hits the back of the pack, calls off the jam. If I can't have any points, you can. But actually 2 points picked up for Rainy there.
So about 3 minutes to go. 1, 2, 3 plays 2, 2, 2.
Oh, it's great numbers, isn't it? 1, 2, 3,
Yeah,
2, 2, 2.
There's something about it. You're not quite sure what, but there's something about it.
Okay. It's well up for it, showing us that still with less than 3 minutes to go, they are well up for it. Up against Trash Panda on the Jammer Stakes. Well up for it, pushes forward, jumps that apex and lands it like a champion. Trash Panda shut down with the call off immediately after the land. Rainy City picking up 4, Nothing to Lose on 0. What a beautiful display. I wonder if we can see that again.
We have had another tweet come in from Caitlin Griffiths saying that their dog Tigger, not impressed by being woken up, but probably will be after this apex jump.
That beautiful. Thank you, stream team, for the replay. Gorgeous to see that as we get back into the action. Missy Hammer with the star, Bunt with the C. Also back on track. We have got 2 minutes left of this game. And it is Scrunch Up Central in turn 1. Missy Hammer looking for the spaces. Tries to find it on the outside, but Bunt with the C gets there first of all. Escorted out by Nepo Baby. Missy Hammer now up against Liz Yeatman and Shiv Roy. manages to just give that beautiful little turn of the hips to get around, complete that initial. Bunsey, though, on the outside line through, 4 points picked up and jam called. King, I really appreciate tweets of pets.
Yes.
Watching RollerDerby. And yeah, thank you for sharing that with us.
I'm well aware of your penchant for pets. Hence,
penchant for pets.
That was part of the reason why I asked for the pictures.
That's what they call me on the street. The lovely Beatrix with a penchant for pets. Like a nicer version of Cruella de Vil. Okay, who's up? Norley with the star, but Trash Panda. Norley picks up lead. Trash Panda coming in. She's going to grapple with that wall of Rainey.
She's got met with a big, strong shoulder from Big Fish.
Removes the star. Fakes it out, though. Fakes the pass to Champagne. Tries again now for a second time. Penny Block says, I don't think so. Uma Thumping trying to mark through as Norley comes in on a second scoring pass. The door, Concertina's shut from Toulouse. Uma Thumping trying to run distraction to get on through, but actually the distraction came from Trash Panda, who's able to make it out on that initial.
Yeah, Nina Backdraft dropped back and just made life awkward for that Rainy City wall. The open up Trash Panda with a little cheeky little tap on Gnarly as they went past.
Norley looks in, checks in, sees the time and says, it's time to end.
Yes, that's save energy. We've got to come back later.
Absolutely. An 8-pointer picked up by Rainey to end that game. Takes their unofficial score to 2-3-8 and nothing to lose on 1-2-3.
So interesting in the points difference at half time was 68. It's finished at 115. So Toulouse did manage to hold it a little bit better over the second half. And going forward, we will have Crime City at Helsinki. It is penciled in for 1 o'clock, but that's only 15 minutes away. So it may be that we are going to be running a little bit behind. We did have a couple of official stoppages. We did have a couple of injuries as well.
Yeah.
But that's a big win for Reigns to take into their game scheduled for 5 p.m. against Crime City. Yeah,
definitely. And a very physical game for both these teams to start their weekend of RollerDerby. I think it's going to be great to see Toulouse take on London Brawling at 3 p.m. today,
yes.
King. I'm really excited to see what learning they bring from the Rainy City game and also what tactics they bring against London that we've already seen play out in the Rainy City game today. So super excited for that.
Absolutely, yeah. What have Nothing to Lose learnt? That's the key thing. We'll find that out in a few hours.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think just from their defensive point of view, when they were on track, we saw in the first half certainly that there was some penalty management that they needed to do with their blockers. But once they got on top of that, they were really quite dominating of the track and of the points. Yeah. So yeah, excited for London.
And it'll be interesting with Rainey. Can they maintain their strong defence that they had through the majority of that game up against Crime City later and Helsinki tomorrow? And I dare say quite a lot of the Rainy City will be sat in the crowd watching this next game, which features Crime City and Helsinki.
Yeah, I think quite a lot of us will be watching that game as well. Super exciting. So I hope you've enjoyed the Rainy City versus Nothing to Lose game. We've had the fantastic Very Cherry on production. I think we're going to see that Apex. Are we going to see the Apex jump again? Oh, we're just going to see a big smash, but here we go. Beautiful bump with the C, split Apex. It's like a collage of Apex jumps. That's what I feel like is happening here in front of me. Oh, the big hits from Uma Thumping. We've had the fantastic Very Cherry on production. I've been the lovely Beatrix.
I am King Crazy.
And we will see you again soon.